Alrighty, welcome to my workshop. You don't get to see it very often. You've seen me make a few things out here, but not a lot. Maybe in the future, if you like this kind of content, I could, let you watch a little more, let you hang out. So, Christmas is coming up. I usually make my gifts for my nieces and nephews. This year, I'm a little behind the wire. If you want to know a secret, it's Christmas Eve and I'm not done yet. So, but I did just finish this project and it's pretty cool. Got a nephew that's into military stuff. So I made him a little representation of a military entrenching tool, for digging trenches. So this is not a replica. It's not supposed to be a certain one. I just kind of took aspects of a lot of different ones and put them into something that I feel like he would enjoy. So stick around and see how I do it. All right, here on the computer, I have a basic shape of the E tool. If you can tell, there's a little notch here. There's gonna be a bend right here, so these ears will fold down like a shovel. Then if you look real close, I just have this little bitty line right here. All that's gonna do is the plasma cutter is gonna go bzz, just make a little center line so I can line my brake up with that center line and I don't have to measure anything. There will be a piece of pipe here that will weld to it and cover that up so it doesn't even matter. Nobody will ever know. All right, let's get it cut. Alrighty, got the plate off the burn table. So now I'm just gonna go around the edges, clean those up. And then I'm gonna put just a little bit of a bevel here. It's not gonna get sharp. Just gonna put a nice bevel just to make it look like a nice shovel and maybe make it work a little better. But I'm not putting a razor edge on there since it is a kid gonna be using it. All right, to the sander. Now, before we put the bend in here and the bend in here, I'm just gonna hit it with my orbital sander. Just, it's a little rusty, get the little bit of crap off because I am gonna paint this like an OD green. So I just wanna get the rust off before I make it a weird shape and have to sand around a weird shape. So let's get at it. I already got her sanded and now, well, I'm gonna bend it this way to make these little spots for the feet and then bend it this way just to give it a little shape that way. So I got this big fancy what they call a piranha or iron worker, which is hydraulically ran, and on this end there's an attachment. It's a press brake attachment. So I'm gonna stick it in here however I need it. It's just gonna go meh, bend it, meh, bend it, and then it's bent. So here we go. That might be a little more bend than I was actually shooting for, but you know what? I think it turned out pretty good so far. So now I'm gonna make a piece that will slide over here, weld onto here to put the handle in. And I just gotta fit the handle after that. Bada boom, bada bing, E-tool. Alright, so you just witnessed me using my micrometer to lay this out. I just kind of eyeballed it, and I think it's going to be pretty spot on. So I got X's. I'm going to remove this material, and then I'm going to squeeze this down so it fits over the tool. Then I can weld it on. Alright, I'm not sure what kind of steel this is, but it's pretty tough. I just put it in that vise and it would not squeeze. So I'm gonna try a hammer to smack it. If that doesn't work, we'll have to use hydraulics or heat to get this to bend. Alright, so there is a way that this fits on there kind of straight. There's not any gaps that are too big for me to weld. So I'm just going to try to get it centered up, squared up, and weld it on. Alrighty, got it all welded up. There was a couple berries on there, so I scraped the berries off, hit it with that orbital sander just a little bit so it's smoother. Now all I got to do is get this magical handle to fit in here. Somehow it was like the perfect length after I cut it in the saw. You didn't get to see that though. This is just a broom handle, so I envision replacing it with something a little better than a broom handle. But for this Christmas, since it's 3 days away, I am just going to use the broom handle. So over to the belt sander, we're just gonna whoop, make it fit. Alrighty, so here it is. Let me scoot back. Here it is. I'm gonna work on fit just a little bit better right there. I got some tools where I can make that fit a little bit better, but it's pretty close. But yeah, anyway, I consider this a success. This looks like an entrenching tool. Alrighty, so we're in the workshop now. I've got it painted. I added little numbers on here so it looks kind of like a military thing. C is my first initial and my nephew's first initial. 23 is the year. So like I said, this is a representation of a e-tool, not a replica. So it just kind of has to look like it is military and issued. So next step, I'm going to drill holes in the handle, screw it together, and then it's done. Alrighty, here it is, finished product. I'm pretty happy with it. It definitely represents a military entrenching tool, and my nephew's gonna love it. The last little part, these screws, got a secret. It worked. I didn't know if it was gonna work or not, so I didn't tell you to begin with. I used some pretty decent sized screws, pretty heavy screws, and then just drilled a tiny little pilot hole, hoping that the wedge action of the screw would tighten this handle down. It would expand the wood in there, and it did. It's just solid. So I think he could dig some trenches with this. Anyway, have a Merry Christmas. Thanks for hanging out. Stick around for more videos like this. See you next time.